the White Rabbit, there was a brand new welcome mat out front. It said "Believe" in bright red. And that was where Mike found something that he could do. Magic. Mike loved riddles the way Nora loved Scrabble. If he was supposed to remember something he learned last week, forget it. That's why his report card was always so bad. But a riddle was different. Everything you needed to know was right in front of you. You just had to look at it another way. If the question was, what can you catch but never throw? You needed to see the meaning of catch. The answer had nothing to do with the ball. The answer was a fever. Mike loved how the answer to a riddle could be unexpected but totally obvious at the same time.
Ready. Bring it on.
Nora probably did brain teasers every morning for breakfast. Mike hoped she didn't make him look slow.
I'm all right.
Mr. Zerlin took a stack of papers from under the counter and handed Mike and Nora each one sheet, along with a pair of scissors.
Can you cut a hole in this paper big enough to walk through it?
That's not a riddle.
It's a challenge, and it's fine if you work together.
Anyone knew there was no way you could step through a hole in a piece of paper, even with tiny margins all around. The hole would be no bigger than, say, both of Mike's hands spread wide. Maybe a baby could step through that hole, but nobody else. Mike sighed. He looked at Nora blankly. He didn't really want this challenge. He just wanted to learn a magic trick before he left the store. He cut the paper and ended up with a hole about the size of an index card. No good. Nora was quiet. She wasn't having any luck either. Mr. Zerlin was watching Mike. You can do it. Mike rolled his eyes again. Mr. Zerlin was a total stranger. He had no idea what Mike could do. He glanced in the direction of the coffee shop, half wishing his mom would walk across the street. He noticed the welcome mat again. The word "believe" glowed in the light from the window shop. Mike let out a long breath. Fine, he thought. I can do it. I believe. Whatever. Mr. Zerlin handed another piece of paper to Mike. He folded it in half the long way. He didn't say anything. He just handed it over like he was giving an important clue. Mike looked at the folded paper for a while. It was hopeless.
Snowflakes.
Nora looked at him like he lost his mind.
Not the kind you see in winter, the kind you learn to cut into.
Mike folded the paper again and sniffed.
What if I make a snowflake with a lot of empty spaces? Then what if all the ribs of the snowflake can be cut and stretched out sort of? Could that make a hole bigger than the original piece of paper? I don't know. I don't really get it.
Suddenly, Mike really did believe. This was the sort of test he could handle. When Mike was doing riddles, he could tell when he was getting close to the answer. It was a sixth sense, like his mind was squinting to bring something into focus. Mike felt that way when he was cutting the paper. It was totally unlike him, but he got absorbed in the work. No fidgeting, no fooling around. He tried to every snowflake pattern he could think of. Before he knew it, 10 minutes had passed, and Mike was surrounded by broken snowflakes. He liked the feeling of trying hard, but he wasn't any closer to figuring out the answer.
Sorry.
Mike was giving up, the way he'd given up on a million things before. So why was Mr. Zerlin looking at him like he'd done something right?
I like the way you think. Reaching hard for the answers. That's right. Funny, I've never seen a kid come so close to something like that.
Nobody said stuff like that to Mike. Ever.
What about a zigzag?
Mike wasn't sure what he meant, but he could try one more time. He figured. He folded another piece of paper lengthwise. He cut the edge in the shape of a lightning bolt and opened it up hopefully. There was a hole there, all right, but not one you could step through, unless you were twisted up, Mike thought, doing yoga maybe. With another sheet, he cut a straight line almost at the top from near the edge, over the edge. He stopped to think. Then below that, he made another cut in the opposite direction stopping before the hole. With a deep breath, Mike separated the paper with his